this is not going to hurt, okay? This is going to be very informative. We're going to have some fun. And I've got Paige over here, okay? And what I missed, Paige is going to take care of. And now I see some other young people. This is just great. I got something for you, okay? I got something for you. Now, you notice here, what we're looking at is a diverse group of young people. And girls, boys, young men, young women. Now, I want to ask parents a question that I asked you. When you were a teenager, did you tell your parents all the things that you did? No. I don't get it. What about you, son? Did you? I know you told your parents. Oh, no. So, I want you to understand as parents that the things that we're going to review is in reference to your children, okay? And I want you to think back to when you were children. But understand, we are in the year 2016, and things have changed a little bit, okay? Now, I always have to give this gentleman right here his time. So we're going to give him his time and we'll get him out of the way, okay? See if we can do that.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Schuman, Michigan's Attorney General. Welcome to the Michigan Cyber Safety Initiative, or Michigan CSI, this community seminar. Thanks for giving my team and giving me the opportunity to share helpful tips to keep your family safe. You know, my wife, Cynthia, and I are the parents of 2 children, and we understand that everyone wants to be connected, and we recognize that today's children are part of this digital generation, and they've grown up with computers and smartphones and tablets and all sorts of devices. And while the web offers countless advantages, you know, dangerous or explicit materials are only a click away. Now, if you click on a bad link on a website, it's like taking a wrong turn in a bad part of town. Predators lurk everywhere on the internet. And that's why it's important. It's so important to make sure we know what our children are doing online. This community seminar covers the online dangers that most frequently threaten today's students, and it'll provide you with practical tools and safety tips. You'll also hear about the topics we covered in Michigan CSI student presentations and how we encourage your students to talk with you about anything, and I mean anything, that makes them uncomfortable. My team will also provide you with information about the OK to Say program, which is Michigan's brand new school safety initiative, and what OK needs from students so that we can report any behavior that threatens their safety or the safety of others. I'm confident you'll find this community seminar information useful, and I'd encourage you to go to my website, michigan.gov/AG, for more resources. Thank you for joining me in the fight to keep Michigan's families safe. These programs, just let me say, are all about safety, they're all about security, and they're all about our children. Thanks a lot.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about your children. And so with all the seriousness that I can muster up, I want you to understand that we're going to provide you with some resource tools. And the reason why is because in schools throughout the state of Michigan, that's all I can speak for, okay? I'm in so many of them, myself and my team, okay? And what we're finding is that the subject matters that we're going to discuss tonight are pretty much in every school. Okay? Pretty much in every school. I haven't found one yet that some of this did not exist, okay? So there's going to be a feedback form where you can give us what you think about what we're talking about, maybe give us some ideas that we can improve on, okay? But these are the things that I want you as parents to really use in helping yourself to help your children, okay? These are outstanding tools that you will be able to use. It will educate you on the things that your children are doing online that maybe you're not aware of, okay? Now, there is, what's that, young lady? What's that right there? Say it a little bit louder. Okay. You know, she knows that. How many of you knew that? Uh-huh. That's good. That's good. But for you that don't know, okay? Now, hasn't it been said that with that particular app, you can take a picture of something and in 10 seconds, it is gone. Yeah, yeah. And see, most young people think that I'll take a picture, it's gone. It's never gone. And the reason why, it's on a server. You don't believe it? Remember the ex-mayor of Detroit? He come to find out, didn't he? He said, oh, that's on a server. You got plenty of time to think about it now, right? So that's why I want you to use these resource tools. And I know, Meredith, you've got that.
They're in the
right?
parent packet. Yep.
Okay, good. So we can move on. So here's your children, okay? They could be on a cell phone. They could be on the internet. Now, I need to ask you, parents, how many of your children have a cell phone? Do all of them have a cell phone? Do all your children have a cell phone? Just raise your hand. If your children have a cell phone, okay? So, all right. I'm at a school a few weeks ago, and I'm presenting a program in kindergarten. Right? So I asked the question, I said, how many of you little tots have a cell phone? And 70% raised their hand. So I said, you know what, I gotta rephrase this question. I said, now I'm asking you, how many have your own personal cell phone? They reached in their pocket and did like this. This is what you're talking about? I said, yes, okay, thank you. I said, I got it. The far majority of kindergartners have cell phones, okay? I got nothing to do with that, right? Okay. So, that's what I want you to understand, is that's why we do these student presentations, because the fight against what's going on in the social media is so great that the government decided we need to come up with something that we can offer to the community, no charge, that will hit the nail on the head, put the icing on the cake, put the bow on top of the package, that will really get students' attention. So that's why we do these presentations, because we're interested in what's going on online. Now, there are a lot of things that go on online that are never reported. But there's a lot of things that go on online that are reported, and we got the data, okay? See, we got the data. That's why we're going to give you some tools, okay? So that you will be able to do what you need to do. And see, that's what we're interested in, the predator. So I'm talking to these kindergartners again, right? So I said, what is a predator? So a little boy raised his hand. He said, Mr. Gwen, a predator is someone who wants to eat you up. I said, okay, you're right. And do you know that when your child goes in a chat room, they're probably talking to a predator? And as many predators as our office catches, there are 20, 30 more that are still out there. So, do you know who your child is talking to on the internet? Do you allow your children to go on the internet without your permission? It can't happen. It can't happen because there are too many examples of young children going on the internet without permission, without parents knowing what's going on, and the young man gets home, and who's waiting for him at his front door? The internet predator. Right here in Michigan. He gets in the car with him. He takes him off. I don't have to go no further with this, all right? Internet predator. And don't get it twisted. It's not just males. Predators are also women. Did you know that? They're also women too. So we got a lot to talk about, okay? And then we'll talk about the OK to Say program. So now, that's not you. Please don't let that be you. Because you may hear something from your child that will be very disturbing. But if you do that, you're going to shut them down, and it may not come back. You may not be able to get them back. So ask questions, be concerned, probe, be nosy, but don't overreact. So my son's 24 years old. He's finishing up school. He stays in my home. It's my rules. Now, if it's not going to be my rules, then son, you're 24 years old. You're going to have to do this on your own. Now, dad ain't going to let you be out there homeless, but you're not going to be able to stay here and do anything you want. And I respect you, but there's just certain things that are going to go on in this household. So, you've got little kids. How many have children in elementary school? Anybody got elementary? Okay, all right. You see what's up there? When we're talking to elementary school age children, we have to keep it age appropriate. I mean, we really have to keep it age appropriate, because if not, you would scare these young people. So what we do is we talk about the 3 keeps. The first thing we talk about is I keep safe. We go through an exercise, kind of like this. You guys are old, but this is what we do. We're like, I keep safe. You hug yourself, and then we talk about what is it that you keep safe. You keep safe your personal information. We ask questions. They say, oh, my address, Mr. Gwynn, my telephone number, my school name, things of that sort, okay? Personal information. But we're at school, and you did mention to me, ma'am, you said, tell some stories, right? You did? Okay, someone tell some stories. So here we are. We're in elementary school, right? Young man raised his hand. He said, I didn't do that. I didn't keep my personal information safe. I don't know him. So the teachers are looking, and I'm looking. I'm like, what didn't you keep safe? I gave him my address. I said, who did you give your address to? A man that I was playing a game with on Xbox. I said, oh boy. I said, okay, thank you. He said, no, I'm not done. I said, what? He said, trying to get me to do something that was naughty. I said, okay. So now we get teachers, please, we got to deal with this, okay? And so we did, and got him the help that he needed, okay? So they got to keep their personal information safe. They got to keep away from what? Predators, right? Strangers. That's why the word is strangers. Cut it in half. Strange. They're strange. That's why they call them strangers, because they do strange things, right? And then we tell them to keep telling. Tell who? A trusted adult. What's a trusted adult? Trusted adult is your parents, of course, your teacher, police officer, nurses, doctors, people that your parents respect. Those are the trusted adults, okay? So that's your kindergartners and your 2nd and 3rd graders. And so this young man, side of his head, his name is Jeremiah. We use him. Jeremiah talks about how he has so much fun on the internet. He talks to his grandmother and all that good stuff. And then we use Big Bird, okay? Everybody likes Big Bird. But what happened is that Big Bird wanted to be a part of this club. They wouldn't let him be a part of the club because his feet was too big, okay? So Big Bird was bullied. So we approach bully, but at their level, okay? And then we even talk to them about gossiping, okay? The things that they want to avoid. So we talk to them about internet safety and bullying, but at their age level, okay? Because it starts down here. And by the time it gets up here, oh boy. So now we go 4th and 5th grade presentations. That's an agent that works at our office. Call him Agent Mike. And all he and his department does is that they portray themselves as a young girl or a young boy. And see, in this video right here, this young girl is talking, she thinks, to another young girl. And what are you going to wear? Oh, I'm going to wear the blue skirt with the white blouse. And then they show the other side, and here it is, an old guy, about 95, right? Looking all grubby. He's a predator, okay? So now we're 4th and 5th grade. We got to kick it up a notch, right? And then we talk about bullying to the extent where people are seriously getting hurt, okay? See, because bullying at that age is, it's people hitting people, pushing people. So we asked, the young people a question: have you been bullied? They raised their hand. Yeah, I'm being bullied right now. Have you talked to your parents about it? No. Why haven't you? I'm too embarrassed. So if you see your child getting distant, if you see the behavior is changing, something is going on. Go to the school. Ask the teacher. Ask your child. See what's going on, okay? Because bullying is just terrible. And see, at that age, there is a different form of bullying that starts, okay? Young lady, the kind of bullying that goes online is called what? There you go. There you go. They got to give you a gift, okay? Now, cyberbullying, okay? Cyberbullying is one of the most horrible things that a human being can experience. And the reason why is because it follows you over and over and over again. So, a person who's cyberbullied, it's a Saturday afternoon. They look at their device, tablet, cell phone, and they see that someone has said something very disrespectful about them. They get to school on Monday, and here they are, they're walking into class, and someone is whispering, and then someone is laughing, and someone is pointing, and someone comes up and shows them. Now, this young person, maybe they're not strong enough, and what happens is now the cyberbullying takes on this evilness where they can't handle it. They're too embarrassed to tell their parents, and it leads to physical, emotional, psychological problems. Cyberbullying is just horrible, and that's why at this age level, we really talk about it. But then we go 6 to 8. Oh, now the heat is turning up. We're turning the heat up, okay? We've got to turn the heat up now because this young lady is dealing with pressure. Okay? We just have to change the name, but these are real, true stories. This is not no Alice in Wonderland stuff. She's talking to a predator, and she's saying, "I know what I'm doing." How can you know what you're doing if you're in the 6th to 8th grade? I mean, how do you know what you're doing? No one, she says, can tell her anything at all. Okay? So we talk to them about that. But then now, because they're progressing towards high school, now we got to talk about this thing right here. And we said, what in the world is that? Just like you got a fingerprint, you got a digital footprint. And everybody's digital footprint is different. And what's happening now, I used to work at a college, okay? It's when you put in your application, the admissions office, they look at your digital footprint. That lets them know if they want you to be in their school. When I got this job with the state, interview went fine. They're looking at that digital footprint. Okay, let's look at that digital footprint, see what this guy's doing. Clean. I ain't know nothing, okay? But so I knew mine's gonna be clean. I don't have nothing. But we talked to them about that. Now, I'm gonna ask you something, parents, and you gotta be honest with me, okay? 6th to 8th grade. The decision's out of your hands now. Somebody has sent an inappropriate picture of themselves to their boyfriend or girlfriend. And someone forwarded to these gentlemen. And they forwarded to someone else, who forwarded to someone else. Should we be talking to young kids in the 6th and 8th grade about sexting? You tell me. Parents, what is sexting? What is sexting? Just say it out loud. Inappropriate pictures, right? Don't have to be a picture. Okay. Now, we're going to get to it, but let's deal with it now. A few months back, in the verbiage from the state law, if someone took a picture of someone, a nude picture of someone under the age of 18, they may have committed a crime. That was changed. They have committed a crime, okay? There's some young men in Warren, Michigan, who now understand that, okay? So if you take the picture
If you forward the picture, then you have committed a crime. So after a presentation, a young man comes up to me. He says, "Could I talk to you?" I said, "Of course." He said, "I've got it on my phone right now." I said, "What do you have on your phone?" He said, "I have an inappropriate picture that someone sent me." He said, "What do I do?" I said, "You delete it. You delete it." He said, I didn't know what to do. So he went and told his teacher. Got the help that he needed, so that was good. So the presentation do make a difference, okay? And this deals with bullying. Bullying in the 6th and 8th grade level, we'll get to it, okay? Now remember I talked about that digital footprint? I want you, it's something right in here. Yeah, 2 out of 5 people, really deal with people they don't know, okay? That are unknown to them, okay? And see, that's sad. You're talking to folks that you don't know anything about. It's like a con artist, right? A con artist is trying to do what? Get your confidence. That's why they call him a con artist, right? And then I like to know, how is it? Let me stop here for you. Ma'am, how many close friends do you have that? What did you say? 250? No. How many friends? 10 maybe. 10 maybe, okay. How is it that your children got 250, 300, 400 friends? How? I need to know. I mean, how do you do that? I ask that question almost every day. How do you have that many friends? It's impossible. So why would you accept friendship from someone you know nothing about? Now they can look at your page. And of them 250, you could have 15, 20 predators in there. They call it privacy. We'll get into that, okay? What's reflecting? What's that, parents? What's that? Facebook, isn't it? Social media is just unbelievable, okay? Now, here's the thing about social media. As we said before, you can't hide from it, okay? Because you leave the digital footprint, right? So eventually parents, teachers, coaches, employers, look at all that, are going to know. And an internet predator, right? So what footprint is your child in? Have you looked at your child's footprint? Have you looked at their footprint? Rhetorical question. Have you looked at their footprint? Do you know what type of footprint they are leaving? You should. You have to. It's just that important. Now, that statement is so true. Anyone in Michigan who has taken a nude picture of someone under the age of 18 has committed a crime. Has committed a crime. Now, some people don't get caught. But I came down 94. I wouldn't want to try it without a car. I wouldn't want to be walking down 94. Now, I could get hit, and maybe I don't. But who want to take that chance, right? So your children don't want to take this kind of chance where now a person is on the sex offenders list for 25 years. Who wants to take that type of chance? So they have to know that, and we stress it, and we stress it. But I have been at schools, and I have begun to start going into this, and I have been stopped. No, you're not going to talk about that. And if they tell me not to talk about it, I won't talk about it. I'm very respectful. But I'm telling you, you don't want to be an ostrich with your head in the sand and don't think that that can't happen, because it can. There should be a video right about now. Come on.
young ladies, because you would definitely think it'd be the young boys, right? You know they wouldn't hold on to anything. You hear what he said? Mark's got to see this. But the young girls are just as bad as the young boys, right? So we don't want to get this thing mixed up and just think that it's just the boys doing it. It's the young girls that are doing it too. How do you think her mom felt when she looked up and saw her daughter? That had to just be horrifying. And then at the end, who was that? Who was that at the end? The predator. That was the predator, okay? And the predator is looking at the digital footprint. That's what they do. They are experts in their field, okay? That's why we encourage them, before you do anything, we want you to think. And the reason why, there's consequences. But see, we have to have the parents, you good people, to sit down and talk with your children about these matters. That's why we're giving you the resource tools to sit down. You will be surprised what they can tell you. They can educate you so that in turn, you can help them. I'm going to tell you, you'll be surprised. I could ask these young ladies back here. I know they know. I know they know, okay? And we want them to protect their reputation, okay? All right, let's keep on going. We're doing good. Now, when we get to the 9th and 12th grade, high school students, wow, that's something. That's something. I've been in schools where I just couldn't even complete the presentation, okay, because they were just so out of control. But majority of the schools, we are able to get through it and let them know about this program called OK to Say. It's OK to Say. It's a program that was established by the Attorney General's office for young people. When they feel like they have no one they can talk to, when they see one of their peers in trouble, this is a program that they can use, okay? They can use. Now, which one of you nice young ladies is going to help me here? Can you help me? Come on, help me. Come on. No, I need you to come up here with me. Come on. Come on. Come on, yeah. Let's educate these parents, okay? Let's show them what time it is. I'm going to point to it and you tell me what it is, okay? What is that?
Pinterest.
Go ahead on, girls. What's that?
Facebook.
What's that? Go ahead on. What's that?
Instagram.
What's that?
No idea.
We'll come back to it. What's that?
Tumblr.
Tumblr. What's that? Google.
Google.
What's that?
Message.
Go ahead on. What's that?
Twitter.
What's that?
Line.
What's that?
Tinder.
What's that?
YouTube.
Ooh, what's that?
Snapchat.
Oh boy. Are they good? Now, how many of them did you know? Your mom knows mom? Have you educated her?
She educates us.
She educates you. Mom's on the case section. Thanks, girl. Appreciate it. You did a nice job. See, these are the things. These are the popular ones. Okay, because there are others. Right? These are the popular ones that our children are on. Okay, these are the popular ones. And see, when you're between the age of 13 to 18, you know, 9 out of 10 use them all. And when you're in the lower grades, 6 out of 10 use all of them. And you know what's interesting about this is that to use any of this good stuff legally, you got to be 13 years old. How many children under 13 use that? The majority of them use it, okay? The majority, nobody's looking at them, nobody's going to come arrest them. But if they can do it and they're 9 and 10 years old, can't the internet predator act like he's 9 and 10? So that's why parents say the first thing that you do before you boot up, before you go online, is you got to ask a trusted adult. If you don't ask a trusted adult, then you can't go online. That's how it works. If you can't ask a trusted adult, you can't go online. I don't think Meredith at school, can they just get on the computer and do anything they want to? It doesn't work like that, okay?
and some kind of ahead of myself. I need to be ahead of myself. There are times where, as parents, you need to block certain sites, parental controls, so that they just can't access anything that they want. Now, you may think this is a little strange, but I'm going to tell you. You know who's got parental controls? You ain't going to believe this. Me. I got them on myself. Is that crazy? I said, man, let me put these parental controls up, you know? Because I don't want to be seeing that foolishness popping up on the screen. And so it blocks a lot of that stuff, okay? So I do it to myself. So I'm not telling you stuff that I don't do my own stuff, all right? Now, here we got all these young people, right? I want to show you something that's quite interesting. 95% use the internet. Of all young people, 95%. When I'm in schools, I'm telling you, everybody's on the internet, okay? 89% is on social media. Page. Only social media you're on is Instagram, right? Right. You guys, few other things? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. But everybody's on some social media, okay? Everybody's on social media. Now, parents, are you on social media? You on social media? You all on social media? Cut it out. Social media? Not really, okay. You are.
Facebook every 2 months.
Every 2 months. My man. Social media? Yeah. Yeah. Social media? It's a cheat sheet. Okay. Social media, all right. So, now, so it shows you that social media is all right. Nothing's wrong with social media. It's how it's being used, okay? There's nothing wrong with social media. There's a lot of positive things can be done with social media, okay? Now let's get into some detail, okay? 78% have cell phones. 97% play computer games, okay? Look at all that. Just take a minute. Digest it. Please digest it. Now that 97% play computer, web, portable, or console games. I want you to keep that thought in mind. Okay, young people. Parents, you got to know what that stuff is. You got to know the kind of games your children are playing and who they're playing with. Do you know none of them are PG? Take a look at it. Some of them are so gory, it's unbelievable. And you know, you don't have to go to the store and buy these games anymore. And they can play online, and if you give them Google money or the iPhone money, you know, they can buy them online. But the point is that, sad to say, these are the kind of things that are available to our children. Now look at that. You know something is wrong just looking at that, right? Just looking at it, you know something is wrong, okay? So you need to become familiar with what they're doing with Xbox, with PlayStation. Who are they playing games with? So, a few weeks back, a young man says that I play with someone that I don't know, but there's been no problem at all. How long have you been doing this? I've been doing it for a few months now. Now, for a few months, you never know what it's going to lead into, because that person is trying to get that young man's confidence so that he will let his guard down to get some personal information because he wants to hook up. So, young people, when I say hook up, you all understand what I'm talking about, right? Okay, thank you. Parents, you understand what I'm saying when I say hook up? Okay. As long as we're on the same page, okay? All right. You I'm enjoying y'all, I tell you the truth. I really am. Now, 77% of sexual solicitations were made chatting online. Two young men, one's named Noah, one name was Ryan. What happened with Ryan, his family was going through some turmoil, and he needed someone to talk to. Went in the chat room, and he talked to someone who said the right things, said the right things. And that's when the solicitation started. And it led to a terrible thing. Now, we show a video about that, and it says that he was a survivor, and he was, but he's also a victim. What we're striving to do is we don't want no victims, okay? We don't want no victims, okay? We're happy that we're survivors. We don't want any victims, okay? But I'm telling you, you've got to monitor what's going on. That's why I asked you at the beginning, when you were young, did you tell your parents everything that you did? I remember I was getting ready to go on a date, one of my first dates, right? My mom said, "You look good, son." I said, "Thanks, Mom." And she said, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "If someone tried to do something to your sister, how would you feel?" I said, "I wouldn't like that." She said, "Good answer." So I walked out the door. She said, "Hey, you're going out with somebody's sister." I said, "Okay, Mom, thanks." Whole date, all I could hear is my mom was saying, "That's somebody's sister." So, parents, we just got to do it, okay? We just got to do it, okay? Now, you see that latter part? 69% of teens receive messages from people they don't know. See, that's a large number. So the likelihood of your children receiving messages from somebody they don't know, oh, the number is big, okay? Now, when I'm in schools, I will ask the teachers for permission. I said, "Can I just, kind of poll with this?" And I'll just start walking up randomly and talking, and you will be just knocked out kind of answers that I get, okay? And then some of the teachers are saying, "Hey, Don, we didn't even know that." I said, "Well, hey, look, I wouldn't know." But my point is that this is real stuff. These are real facts, okay? Now, most teens don't tell a trusted adult. And I'm going to tell you why they don't tell a trusted adult, because they're afraid of how you're going to react. And they are embarrassed. So we got to put them in a situation where they can be comfortable, okay? That they can be comfortable to come, and if they can't talk to you, that there's some trusted adult that they can talk to, okay? Now, you see this, the sex offender registry. Okay. You want to know who in your neighborhood, right? So, parents should always do what? Parents should always do what? Always do what? Check it out. www, there you go. Check it out. I did it not long ago. I didn't know. A couple blocks down. I didn't know, Not like I'm going to go down there and say anything, but it's nice to know, okay? It's nice to know, especially when you have children. Huh? And here's the video. Come on.
Internet predators use distinct techniques to try to trick you and gain your trust. We know about these techniques and tricks because we chat online with predators, and we've confiscated their computers and examined how they chat with victims. Predators will try to appear familiar to you. They will be really friendly, asking you about your hobbies and other interests. Internet predators ask lots of questions and respond in such a way to fool you into thinking they care about you. They try to make you feel good about yourself, complimenting you, and maybe even sending gifts. They often want to know your opinions, what you like or dislike, they do too. They will say they understand how you feel. Predators will challenge your parents' authority by telling you that they are too strict, or say something like, "I would never treat you like that," or they just don't want you to be who you are. They just don't understand. Predators also typically try to develop your trust. They may say something like, "You can tell me anything, and I won't tell another living soul." In fact, we've had a predator say, I know you would never get me into trouble, and I trust you with my heart. Predators ask personal questions and try to get you to establish a secret relationship. They will ask you to describe yourself, talk about ex-relationships, and want you to reveal secrets. Predators will exploit any parent-child conflict and encourage the child's feelings that the parent is wrong. Another thing predators typically do is try to erode barriers. They will ask you lots of questions to see what your morals are and try to exploit them. They want to talk on the phone with you, exchange photos, or use a webcam. They may send and want to receive inappropriate pictures. Finally, predators want to set up a face-to-face meeting. If students have been communicating with someone who is using these tricks, they need to remember that it's never too late to get help. The students may have already seen or done things online that they are ashamed of. Don't be bullied. And don't let somebody you already communicated with trap you. It is better to tell parents or a trusted adult about the situation now before something bad happens to the student or to someone else the predator is talking to online. Online predator contact can be reported to the Attorney General online or by phone. When the predators we communicate with online show up to meet the student they thought they were talking with, we arrest them. We talk to them to find out how many other students they have hurt or have tried to hurt, and unfortunately it's usually a lot. Our experience teaches us that students need to remember two important things. One, never talk to an adult online unless a parent or a trusted adult know about it. Even if that person is someone you know, like a coach, a priest, or a minister, a teacher, or even a friend's parent. Two, if someone says or does something online that makes you feel uncomfortable, get off the computer and tell a parent or trusted adult right away. Don't be afraid to tell them about it. They would rather know than have you be hurt.
Now, that's Agent Mike that I'm talking about. You see, once again, it just keeps emphasizing to us as parents that our children need to know the importance of not talking to someone they don't know, okay? Not talking to someone they don't know. So we want you to be involved, okay? And being involved means that you're going to check things out, okay? And so, remember we talked about privacy settings? Privacy settings are so important, and the reason why is that you don't want your children befriending any and everyone, okay? Who knows what geotagging is? Please. So should you have your geotagging on or off? What does it depend on? Come on up here. Come on. Absolutely right, okay? It's got its pros and cons, okay? But that's where parents do what? They monitor, okay? See, that's where parents monitor, okay? Yeah, there are great times to have your geotagging on, but there are other times, oh no, you don't need that on, okay? Especially social media, okay? That's where the predator is at. Okay, very good, okay? Now, 65% of sex offenders use the victim's social media to get personal information. That's all they want. They just want the personal information, okay? So, the terms of service. Some people have T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T. What's the cheap one? What's the real cheap one? What's the Cricket? Okay, yeah, yeah. And then I had one. What's the one I had? Oh, I can't think of. I got the Brightman. It went on. I got the Brightman. The thing. I got no service. I had to get rid of them quick. Okay. So terms of service. You check things out. Okay. Now there's certain apps that siphon personal information from your child's device. Mama, help me here. Certain apps that siphon personal information from your child's device. Give me one. That's it. Every app you get, okay? Certain apps, all of them, okay? So that's why you check the terms of service. Right? Now, you're going to get this social networking, discussion questions. This is just outstanding. And I'm going to move on because I know I'm running out of time. And then this one, this is your action plan. These documents are great. That's where I gather a lot of the information from that I'm presenting to you today, okay? Now, 80% do not have rules about internet usage. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Can I come into your house and do anything I want to do? Can I come into your house and just do what I want to do? How about you? I'm a pretty nice guy, man. I've been here hours. No? What? Hard group, man. Why not? Why can't I just come to your house and do what I want to do? And the deal is you have house rules, right? You have house rules. So there are certain things that you're not going to allow in your house. Well, this is saying 80% do not have rules about internet usage. Well, who's running the camp? Who's running the camp here? They don't tell you, you tell them. You tell them. Here's the rules. This is how it's got to be. Now, if it can't be like this, then what we'll do, we just have to unplug it. There's got to be some rules. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to love you for it. They're going to love you for it. Okay? Now, online safety contract, that's going to be a part of your package as well. Cyberbullying, we've talked about, really the danger of it. But I'm going to show you something.
Hi, I'm Jim Stein, father of 4 kids and the founder of Common Sense Media. And I can assure you that the former job is a lot tougher than the latter. Now, one of the many things that we do here at Common Sense is to provide information to help parents navigate the crazy digital world that is so much a part of our kids' lives today. And one of the biggest issues out there right now is cyberbullying. My wife and I know very well that as parents, it can be really difficult to know what to do if you suspect that your own child is involved in some sort of cyberbullying. So here, straight from the mouth of some of our Common Sense Media parents, are our top 5 tips on how to deal with cyberbullying.
As parents, we have to help our kids realize that they can play a role in stopping cyber cruelty. Here are 5 tips to help you prevent, protect, and deal with cyberbullying. First, teach your kids empathy. Nothing drives home a point faster than walking a mile in someone else's shoes. If your kids truly understand what someone else is going through, they're less likely to bully others or stand by and watch when others get bullied.
Second, help your kids understand the line between funny and cruel. Kids often don't think before they post, text, or email. What is intended as a joke could end up hurting someone else. Drama starts brewing, ask your kid to talk to their friend and clear it up.
Third, make sure they talk to someone, even if it's not you. Of course we want our kids to talk to us first, but if that's not an option, encourage your kids to find a responsible adult they can confide in. That could be their school counselor, their music teacher, or even a friend's parent.
Fourth, help your kid be an upstander, not a bystander. Kids are often hesitant to get involved, lest the bully turn their sights on them. But there are other ways your kids can help. They can reach out to you, or get an adult involved.
Finally, show your kid how to stop it. Tell them not to respond or retaliate to cyberbullying. Not being the bully can stop the cycle. And if anything does happen, it's always a good idea to say yes.
There's no escaping the fact that, like adults, kids are spending most of their waking hours online and on their phones.
That's why it becomes even more important for us as parents to teach them how to responsibly and respectfully communicate using these tools. Following these simple steps will make a difference in your kids' lives and the lives of others. For more advice and tips, visit us at commonsense.org.
What a nice website for you all to use. Now, because cyberbullying is such a major thing, there is an app. You can get it on iPhone. You can get it on Android. I have it. It's necessary to have, and parents, please. It's called re. Re what? Rethink. Rethink. And this is how it works. When you're typing something, and you know how you're typing, you're mad, this is going to pop up on the screen. Would you like to pause, review, and rethink before typing anything that may be offensive? And it gives you an opportunity to clear it out. Because you know when you're mad, when you're upset, you say all kind of things. And once you send it, you can't get it back, right? Rethink. Put it on your phone. Put it on your child's phone. I know you know. That's a great app, okay? Because 29% do nothing about cyberbullying. And I want to tell you about this, okay? A lot of people think it's funny. You heard of the phrase, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I'd like to meet that person. I really would like to meet him because that's not true. There are words that are so powerful that hurts people to the core of their heart that it moves them to do things that they normally wouldn't do. And there's a video I'm going to show you, and I'm trying to get to it, but I guess I better touch this. When you see your kids stop using their devices, that's a warning sign, okay? When they get a little fidgety, you know, you say, what's wrong with them? That's a warning sign. Angry, depressed, you go to say something to them and they're snapping at you, something's going on, okay? When they're withdrawn, they're always in their bedroom, they don't want to be bothered. See, these are all telltale signs, okay? And when you ask the question, what's going on, and they don't want to talk about it, something's going on. Become unusually secretive. Something's going on. Notify the school, come up to the school. Come up to the school. See what's going on with your child, okay? I want to get to this video. There we go. This is what it can sometimes do to you.
Crowded hallways of the loneliest places, outcast and rebel. Anyone who dares to be defined. And you've been trying for so long to find out where your place is in their narrow minds. Room for anyone who dares to do something different. Oh, listen for a minute. Just the one who's been where you are, wishing all it was sticks and stones. Words cut deep, but they don't mean you're all alone. And you're not invisible. Hear me out. There's so much more to life than what you're feeling now. Someday you'll look back on all these days, and all this pain is gonna be invisible.
Those are 7 young people from the state of Michigan here. And I tell you, I see this all the time, this video. Every time I see it, it has the same effect on me. Because you're talking about lives here. We're not talking about something that was made up. And it's just so true that words do have power, and they can heal or they can destroy. And so that's why we talk to you about these things, because this is the kind of stuff that goes on in our state. It's going on all over the world, but we key into our own state. And so when we show that video, most of the young people, I would say it does have an effect on them. Hopefully positive, to understand that when you say something to someone, you may be able to deal with it, but they go home and they can't. And you don't know what things are going on. You know how you have a cartoon and it has a little caption over the head, and in the caption it says what's going on in the mind? Well, if you put a caption over each of our head tonight, everybody's going through something. Everybody's going through something. And it pushed those young people there to the point that ended up happening. So it is a very serious issue, and I'm just so happy to see so many parents come out tonight and tell you this is the biggest group I've seen since I've been doing this, okay? So I do commend you, okay? And I think this statement makes a lot of sense. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. So we want you to understand, to help your children. If they're experiencing it, let's get them some help. If they know someone that's experienced it, let's get them some help, because cyberbullying is just that serious. And we want every student to come to school and feel safe. That's why when we get to the high school level, we talk about dating violence, because there's a lot of that going on. You've got these aggressive people, male or female, that are taking their anger out on their party, okay? And we don't want folks to ever think that when someone makes a joke that they have access to a weapon, that is a joke. It's not a joke, okay? That's why this program, OK to Say, is so important. Stop the silence, help end the violence. It's obvious that he is perplexed. Could it be bullying? Could it be dating violence? Could it be that he was assaulted? What's going on with him? Something is going on. So he could call. If someone who is his friend sees that he's going through something, they can call. It can be a telephone call, it can be an email. And what's nice about this program is that all these things that are listed, and this does not include everything, can be reported. It's available 24/7. Let me tell you about this program before we end, is that for 2015, 1,400 tips were given to our office. And the things that are delineated there, it was able to stop so many of those things, okay? Students called and they used it, and they used it the right way to help themselves or to help one of their peers. And so, like that young man there, he may have seen something. He said, well, hey, look, who did I talk to? He uses the OK to Say app. And so, if he uses it, it's going to be a benefit. It could be online tip form. But I've got the app on my phone. Young people, make sure that they have that on their phone, because it's just that useful. And what's so nice about it is confidential, and the information is going to be properly forwarded. I mean, very fast. Now, we're at the end. So what we got to do is we got to put the bow on top of the package, okay? Is that with everything that we've talked about tonight, the fact that you're here shows that you're interested. So, I want you to take these resource guides, read them very carefully, then promise me that you will sit down and talk with your children. Sit down, have some dialogue, don't be surprised at what might be said, commend them, work with them. Please do that.
And if you do, you're going to see some positive results and some benefits, okay? So, I'm Don Gwinner from the Attorney General's office. It has been my privilege to be able to talk to you about what we do as we go around the state of Michigan. Have a good evening, and I wish you the best with your children. You got any questions? Let's ask them. Okay? Yes, sir. Oh, that would be great. That's a great question. Now, let me kind of throw this out here because I know we've got an expert in the audience too. Yeah, because I know where you work at, okay? So, from your experience, okay, because I can give you some things from my experience as well. What have parents that you know done that has effectively helped their children? So the bottom line is, sir, is that, as parents, what has to happen is, number one, you got to educate yourself, okay? Because education will put you in a position where you know what they're doing, and then you have to monitor it, okay? There are things that go on that are new coming up all the time. We sent one of our members to a school in the inner city, and this is back when I was working at the college. And that's just a few years ago. And they mentioned a young girl's name, okay? And when they mentioned the name, everybody just started buzzing, okay? She has her own pornographic site at 14 years old. And the kids all knew about it and they accessed it, okay? So everybody was on this thing. But we didn't know anything about that. So as a parent, your best approach is open lines of communication. You've got to, and I'm not going to use the word spy, but you got to be very observant as to what your children are doing.
You're never going to keep up with them, to be honest with you. But communication will hopefully put you in a position that if anything comes up, they will come and talk to you. Okay. I know with my boys, one's 31 now, he's in Ecuador, and the one that's living at home is 24. Is that when they were growing up, there were a lot of things that I was able to keep up with, but a lot of things that were just kind of over my head. But what I've always tried to do is I kept those moments where we just spent quality time together, where I just talked to them about everything. You would be surprised some of the things I asked them boys. I wouldn't say it in front of you all, but I mean, I just came right out flat out. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, I meant what I said. I said, now let's go back to it again. Because they already know. They already know, but they need to hear from you, okay, that you know what's going on. So. Which is great. You remember our graphic, 80% don't have no rules, right? You got to have some rules. You got to at least understand that, hey, look, mom and dad are just saying it's a free for all. Do anything that you want to do. They got to know that, hey, look, in this household, this is what we're striving for. Okay? Now, kids are kids. I know when I was young, I wasn't really a bad kid, but I did my stuff too. I think everybody did some things, that mom didn't know. And when I got older, I told my mom some of the things. She said, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "Yeah, mom, I just thought I'd tell you now. I mean, you can't whoop me now, mom, but but that's the way it is. But just think, if we did not have programs like this going into the school, where we're talking with them, that's why the program was developed, because it's so much that's going on. Now, hopefully out here in Dexter, you're not having a lot of it, okay? Merritt, I would have to turn to your attention if there's some things that are going on that are said here.
I can't say it isn't.
Okay.
I mean, the kids are doing these sort of things, no matter what the community.
Yeah. So we've been educated, we're aware, we keep working hard as parents, and hopefully things will turn out, okay? So what we're trying to do is prevent what we saw in that last video, okay? Yes. Well, they hope they can see everything that their children do. What happens is you try to monitor the best that you can, and hopefully through your raising process, there is trust that they're going to do the right thing, okay? And I think like your daughter, you trust that they're going to do the right thing. And they will. In most cases, they will. Because they got parents who care. I'm telling you, when parents truly care, the results are completely different from the parents who don't care at all. Okay? You care. That's why you're here. And you're going to go back, you're going to take your research tools, you're going to read, you're going to sit down with your children, and if they don't know nothing, they're going to know, boy, mom and dad, really do care. It goes a long, long way. Long. Yes, sir. And sometimes you have to let them know that, right? You say, I was looking at so-and-so, and they kind of need to know that somebody's monitoring what's going on. To be able to track everything, just not gonna happen, y'all. Okay? Yes, sir? I would just say one other thing that really good point. I know one thing with my boys, I let my boys know is that I'm not your buddy. I'm your dad, okay? Now that's different, okay? Now look, I love you. We do a lot of nice things together, but I'm your dad. I don't want you thinking that me and you are pals, because we're not. You know, I'm gonna say some things to you not gonna like. And sorry if I hurt your little feelings. I ain't trying. You know, my son's 24, right? I went to him not long ago, and I apologized to him. Messed up. Huh? The boy was messed up, you know? He didn't know what to do. I said, I just wanted to apologize to you, Darren. I said, I'm really sorry for the way I said that. Huh? I said, yeah. You apologize to me? I said, of course. I said, now I am not sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for the way I said it, okay? He said, okay, gave me a hug, man. He didn't know what to do. He was messed up. He's still messed up, you know? He don't know what to do. So what I'm saying to you as parents, just keep talking to him, okay? Take that resource material, use it, talk to him. Regular communication, okay? Regular communication. You'll be fine. Regular communication. Yes, ma'am.